Alright, well hey guys, welcome to my first tutorial video. I'm Big Ben DJ and today I'm just going to be showing you some basic stuff you can do with the Ableton Live 9 Lite. I think it's not a free version, I think it's $90. It's the cheapest version you can get, but I got mine free with a Launchpad Mini. So I'll just show you some basic beat making things in here. Alright, so first off we're going to add some new tracks, just to show you some of the limitations you might be dealing with Ableton Live 9 Lite. So we've currently got 7 in, now we've got 8, and can't go any higher than 8, that's all you can get in the free version. So just get rid of them, Control Z. And here we got the return tracks A and B, automatically reverb and delay, but you can change them. I don't use them very much, so I'm not going to go into them in depth, but there they are, sends and returns A and B. I'll show you them in effect later. And let's try and add another one. See, you're limited again to 2. That's all you can have. And here's just some shortcuts for you. They're always there on the menu if you need to use them. I never really bother, I just open up the drop down menu because I can't remember all the shortcuts, to be honest. Anyway, just clicking those arrows is what's closing those little boxes because I've got a bit of a small screen. There's all your MIDI effects. And here we're going to drag in a drum rack. It's a pretty good thing. Something I really like about Ableton is this drum rack. You can put so many drums on all these little pads you see here. Like, I usually only use one set of pads, but there's just so many possibilities for just different drums combinations. So we're going to be using, I'd usually use other samples, but we're going to be using samples you get with Ableton Live 9 Lite. So we just got a random conga I grabbed. Find a kick. Here we go, kicks. That's a nice one, I like the sound of that. Really subby. Now we're just going to change the BPM up here by scrolling upwards on that to 128, classic sort of commercial house BPM. And to do this, you slide downwards. You see where that little hand is, you get the magnifying glass, and you slide down to zoom in and up to zoom out. Anyway, highlight and right click and say insert MIDI clip, then double click, and you can draw in by double clicking your drums in like that. Highlight again and press Ctrl L. That puts it in loop, and you can just play it through like this. So I'm just going to add in the congas now in a random pattern. Usually it'll snap to the grid, but if you slide it slowly like I did just then, you can sort of position it any way you want not on the grid. Alright, really basic pattern there. So just get rid of these audio tracks, we're not going to be using them. And on our next MIDI track, we're going to drop in a plugin. I'll just have a look in my plugins, what to put. Not really any synthesizers in Ableton Live Lite. That's another limitation, you don't have a synthesizer. So I'm going to use this ComboF, which is a free organ emulator sort of thing. I can't remember when I got it. I never use it. I just picked it right now because it's free and people can download it and use it if they wanted to. Going to draw another basic pattern in here, nothing too fancy. And to be able to hear what you're drawing in, you need to click that little headphone icon, make sure it's blue, otherwise if you were playing on the keyboard like that, you wouldn't be able to hear it. Just going to make some chords, maybe a bit of a sort of pad type sound. Really basic. This isn't really that good of a sounding synth either. So if you can get another synth, I don't know. I don't really get free ones. I've got a whole lot of other ones I've paid for, but there's probably other better choices of synths you could get for free. That's good enough, really basic. Sounds kind of good with the drums, I guess. So now we're going to go to the audio effects. I reckon this synth will sound nice with a bit of reverb on it, so I'll just put a reverb in, drag and drop it in like that. It's gotten a bit quieter, but I reckon it sounds a lot smoother, a lot nicer. So to make up for the quiet, we'll put in a compressor. You don't have a limiter in Ableton Live 9 Lite, so pretty much to make anything louder without clipping, you gotta use a compressor. So I just slide it up the output gain there, and now it's quite loud again. Now what you don't want to be doing is this. You don't want to be doing that because it's clearly clipping. You can see it there in the yellow box, and also on the far right you can see the red. Well, you can't anymore, but you can see the red that was there if you go back a few seconds, and that's called clipping. It's like audio distortion. You definitely don't want that. Click that little button there, brings up this sort of chain menu. You can switch between your drums and add audio effects onto them individually. So I think I'm gonna put something on this conga. Just another reverb. Oh no, simple delay. Sounds a bit funny right now, so I usually just play around with these delay times that you see. Yeah, usually just try different combinations by clicking different ones of these. So just how it is with it off and how it is with it on. Sort of decays away a bit, echoes. Yeah, I like the sound of that. Show you the sends now. That's send A, that's a reverb going all onto the drum rack, so the kick as well. And here's the delay going onto the kick and the already delayed conga. So usually you can position them to a reasonable amount to what you want to get a nice effect, but I usually never bother doing that. I always put something straight on when I want to put a reverb on. So I'm just adjusting. I see the audio was clipping just then, so I'm just adjusting that back down so it isn't clipping over 0 dB. And here, this is how you do the sends and returns in this view. You can do all the mixing in this view as well. It's just a bit harder to see. So those little minus infinites just there are the send A and send B. I'm just going to put a bit of a compressor on it to make it a little bit louder. It looks like it's already really quite loud, so just putting see if I can get it a little bit louder. That's good. And that's it. Hope you enjoyed it. Really basic tutorial, really easy stuff, so yeah, nothing too hard.